down right here. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me or not, because I ain't too sure about this. Let me see here. Let me set this up where I can see you and you can see me. Although I am driving, so I got to be careful what I'm doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that our presbytainer, that means president, businessman, and entertainer, has declared that houses of worship, they are darn essential. Now let me tell you what they just released. And in addition to saying that, he made a statement, two statements that I believe that a lot of Christian people can't help but hear and like what they hear. I'm talking about what he said. Number one, that's just three things. Number one is what I already done said, that houses of worship are essential. And then he padded like this. He said, now how is it you're going to have these guidelines for all the other places, particularly ABC stores, the alcohol places, and the other places that ain't got nothing to do but bringing people into the center of their crazement or their nigament. He said, now how y'all gonna do all of that? Supposedly empowered, educated, and strengthened during a time when people need that because it's a pandemic. He said, now that is essential. So houses of worship are essential. Now alongside of that, because here's the presbytainer, president, businessman, and entertainer of the entire divided states of America, he added, houses of worship, temples, synagogues, and such. That means no matter what your religion is or what you believe, you can go and worship your deity and get what it is that you need to be getting from Jesus, or from Allah, or from Buddha, or from, I don't know, all the many different places. Okay. So that seems very fair and presidential as far as the statement is concerned. We're just on the surface right now. We can get down into it. Give me a little piece. I'm thinking this thing through with y'all as I'm going back to the house. And then he says, this is not a time for us. I done told you the two things. Third thing, this is not a time for us to have less prayer. But this is a time for us to have more prayer. Cook, Google, and move. Now to hear that said and you are a praying person, you're like, my God, preach trumpet. Preach trumpet. But then as you sat there and you begin to marinate on that message that this young man done released out here to the entire world, because the world watching us, the world been watching us. I mean, we ain't even, how many percentage of the population of the world? I think we're in the single digits. But it's like America following the pattern of Babylon and Rome is so magical, for lack of better words. It's like they're able to cast her spell over all the rest of the country, where all the rest of the countries want to be like America. They want to worship like us. They want to music like us. They want to eat what we eat. They like our sweet stuff and all that kind of stuff, and they take it over there. It's just, so he was talking to the entire world, because the whole world was watching. I don't know how long this is going to last, but typically America's leader is a world leader in the sense of the word that the whole world watches America. So he got it there and said something. And to be honest, aside from one other thing, I really think that this is probably the most presidential I've seen this man our presbyter behind the lectern speaking in a whole heap of time. I do believe. I mean, he was speaking. He was looking at his paper and speaking, church should be open on Sundays. And I think he was being very presidential. So on the surface, it was like, look at Trump being the president of the of the divided states of the Americas. Look at Trumpet being presidential. Now you say what you want to say, you cannot like him out. He was being presidential. But then, as I sat there and I began to marinate in the message that had been released by, I don't know who that is that's calling my cell phone, but I can't talk right now. Of the trumpet of the divided states of America. I want y'all to get now. I'm giving y'all a word wrapped up in this comment. What am I calling him? Of course, the presbyter. That's a word. President, businessman, entertainer. But I'm also calling him the trumpet. The trumpet of the divided states of America. There's a word in that. Catch it, catch it, catch it. What did them preachers say? Watch this, watch this, watch this. He is the trumpet of the divided states of America. What you're saying, Reid, what I am saying is that everything that this man say and do, it sounds throughout our entire nation and the world. And it's almost like a call of action to some folks. Sometimes it's some people that we don't want to see no action from. Racist people, what am I doing? Bigoted people, chauvinistic. And he may not even mean to do this, or does he? But when that trumpet get to blowing, folk just fall into action. You got folk feel like they can disrespect black and brown folk. Then you got folk feel like, black and brown folk feel like you got to hate the white folk. I mean, this thing is, we've been sitting and watching this for 4 whole years, and if y'all don't get out there and vote, whatever you decide to vote, it's going to be like that in the next 4 years. And I'm not telling you how to vote. You vote however you want to vote. But as I sat there and I sit there marinated on the thing, I said, now wait a darn minute. Wait a darn minute. Wait. This gonna be a petri dish. But wait a minute. I already go out here in the streets of Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. For those you don't know, if you're watching me for the first time, you're watching Larry D. Reid. This is in my car. The show's LarryReidLive. Come on every Monday. Go ahead and subscribe and make sure you don't miss nothing over here. You can call in and say whatever you want to say to me. And when you call in, or say what you got to say about what I'm talking about. Because you can't call in and say whatever you want to say to me all the time, because there's somebody else running that thing and they might hang up on you. We let one little lady through there the other night. But anyway, I said, now, wait a minute. I said, I already go out here and see folk that do not like wearing their mask. And we see a whole lot of people that's posting these videos, they're crying that the mask make them feel like they in slavery. I guess now it's not okay, but it was to build up the country. They feel like somebody's telling them what to do. They feel like they're property. I mean, I guess now it's not okay. And so they're really going through some psychological, issues and changes. And I said, so these folk ain't wearing, and a lot of these folk ain't been tested, don't know whether or not they are positive with the COVID-19. We call it the Cora over here, in other places known as the Rona. Asymptomatic, and we're finding out that the asymptomatic people are actually the community spreaders. They're people who don't have no kind of symptoms or anything at all. And they are, I think it's 0.3%. They spread COVID-19 at a higher rate. Don't quote me on that, but I do remember reading it. But I can't remember the source I was reading. I have to read the junk and the proper stuff, to come to my own commentary about stuff. And so we got that going on. We got the schools opening up. We have retail opening up. Oh, y'all been standing in line at the grocery stores and stuff. So you've been bringing whatever you engage out there in the streets back to the house. And all of this is happening within 3 or 4 weeks of each other. May has been the what is that they call? I remember a thing we used to call May Day. It's almost been like the month that they chose to march us right forward back into normalcy. And this is the thing that's bothering me about this, because I don't know if we're supposed to go back to normal. And if we do, I feel like it ain't supposed to be this here quick, because we still figuring out stuff concerning this virus. 1 week they said we find out this, hell, that won't right, it'll do this to you. Well, we find out it'll take your eyeball out. We just find it out. So y'all be careful with your eyes. Then the next week, oh, we're sorry, we didn't know that your whole tongue gonna fall out your face with the COVID-19. So you just be careful, because your tongue might fall out. I mean, every week is something. So with all of this unpredictability, I'm thinking to myself, then how come we don't wait a little piece of, we just tiptoe out, we just go out bit by bit and just see what's going to happen to all of us as we go. Y'all throwing us all like that. Now you don't open up the churches. Now old folk go to church. And old folk are the folk that is really susceptible to this here virus. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I don't normally drive this car. This is my other car. Y'all used to see me driving my around the house, around the town car. This is when all of us riding together. Me, my children, their mom, and everybody together. I had to go get some work done on it. But anyway, so I sat there, marinated on. I said, trumpet. I don't think this is what we need to be doing right now, because I know y'all may feel like the governor's gonna run everything, the mayor's gonna run everything, but the reality is, trumpet has been puppeteering the entire country because he knows he's the president and what he say matters. And this stuff about disinfected, the sun rays and all that kind of, there were actually people who was sipping on that stuff and inhaling that stuff because he's in the seat of power. So what he says matter. Cheering. We got to pray and we got to make our voice heard. If we don't like what he's saying, then come November, everybody need to do whatever they need to do. Whoever you're going to do. I don't think we have that greater choices. Jesus Lamb, that's a whole nother story. But this here we know we don't like, some of us. So this here, we can get up out of that seat of authority, because you cannot like him. This man is running this country. He is running. I'm here in Atlanta. He way up there in the DC. I ain't never met him, don't know him. We ain't got no family members, there's no kin. And what he say affect my life. This is serious, so we got to go praying. We got to go praying and got to get your hips up out there come this November and do whatever needs to be done, because this here is a doohickey. This here is a doohickey. Now, pastors, let me say this to the pastors. Let me talk to the members first. Members, saints and friends of every synagogue, every temple, and every church, all houses of worship, round about the divided states of the Americas in many different states and state level and at the county level. Mayors, governors, everybody listening unto me. If you don't feel like that you should be in your spiritualizations, down deep down in your belly, you feel like that you ain't got no business going to church this weekend, because that's 2 more days now. Because some folks like, oh, thank you, Jesus. They're going to shop tomorrow. They get their prayer caps, their hats, their skirts for the Apostolic Pentecostal churches. Some of you going to go find the tightest skirt for y'all Baptist churches and y'all all y'all interdenominational churches, and all y'all churches is like All the churches here in Atlanta, y'all getting tight pantsuits, want to look like you were melted and poured into, and get you a push-up bra to stand up there in front of the pastor because you want him to look at you any darn way because you lust the pastor and you really want him, and you got to watch y'all kind of folk like that because y'all do that kind of stuff after you get him, and then he don't do like you need to do. You emailing me all the texts and pictures and videos talking about you a victim. No, you ain't. You's a hoe. You a selective hoe, and you're a smart hoe, and you got with the pastor. But anyway, darn way. If you feel like that you should not, I don't care if they're going to pay you good, musician, and go back to your regular pay this here Sunday. If you feel like you ain't got no business going back to that church, don't you let nobody guilt trip you into taking your hips down there to that church house. Yeah? If you don't feel like in your spiritualizations that you ain't supposed to, you don't feel that thing, don't you go. You hear me? You hear me? Don't go. All right? That's number one. That's to the members and the saints and friends. This next little piece I'm going to say right here is for the pastors, the pastorals. All right? Pastorals, pastors, bishops, apostles. Pastor prophets, all y'all that's over the church, senior pastors, that y'all determine prelates, and some of y'all got that ambassador thing. I don't know where y'all dug that up from. Ambassadors, archbishops, suffragan bishops, auxiliary bishops, whoever, one superintendents, senior pastors. I'm gonna say this to you here. If you're enjoying this commentary, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit share, and share with somebody. And remember to tune in on Monday nights and support the platform. But we thinking out loud together. I'm almost around the corner from the house now. All right, so, Ara, I know you need to go back. Hold on, let me go back to the saints. And let me stick with the pastor. I'm going to get this too long. I'm at the house. I got to eat. I know you have been having pulpit withdrawals. Pulpit withdrawals. I know it. I know you're a choir member. You're a praise and worship leader. They're stopping me right here down the street from my house. And look, they stopping me right here in front of Sheree House, from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And what's the name house? King is around the corner. I know. What look at stop me for so they can pull out their mess in front of the street, and I got to sit here like this. All right. Thank you. What is so special about their house? Let me look up here and see. Is this a regular little house? What they get so special they stop everybody else? Okay. I know you've been having pulpit withdrawals. I know it. I know if you sing on the choir, there's a certain thing. Oh, like when the music, the organ is going, that's how y'all some to the club and you run out to the whole house, and you run out to the courthouse to get high, and the whole travel there, all of that's like a part of the high and everything. It's the same thing for those who go to church. All of that is just it's getting up on Sunday morning, getting ready. Then after church, you see Mother this and you hug them. It's your community. You leave there and then you go out to eat. You laugh and you talk. You basically have your own LRL that y'all talk about me having. You have your own LRL after church or in the green room. However, you enjoy it so good. All the gossiping and talking about this one and that one, what that one got on. And you go back home and you sleep and you feel like you serve the Lord all day long. You miss it. You got withdrawals. I know. But don't you want to be able to go next year and not be laid up somewhere on a cooling board, 6 feet down in the ground somewhere? Huh? Okay, but let me tell you this here. This is what I need for you to do. I need for you to go and find something else that you can do in your house, away from the public, that can give you the same sensation. What you need to do, and I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You need to get your church and to make sure they got live stream. Go to the Best Buy or order from the Amazon and get you some big old speakers and plug your computer up to your big TV where it feel like the pastor right in your church and you got surround sound and everything just seem like you really there because, you know, I'm gonna tell you need to do that instead of going to the church. Kenda is about to hit his car. Oh no, he didn't do it. You make good points about being cautious, but you're spreading fear. What if you're wrong? I'm not spreading no fear. How am I? You know, people kill me with that. And thank you for the $4.99. I can when people, just because I'm telling people to be careful, that's spreading fear. No, that's not spreading fear. That is telling people to be careful because all of us don't live in the same place. Some of us are in hot spots. And if you're in a hot spot where the air is dirty, and COVID is floating around in the air, waiting on you like you just don't care, you need to be careful. So I think it's real selfish for a whole lot of you to be like, I don't want to wear no mask, and you worried about your personal health during a public health crisis. Let me say it again. You worried about your personal health during a very public health crisis. This is a health crisis, you guys. I do know the economic crisis. This is the same numbers for the Depression in 1989. I get that. But Tom, I think that you should be concerned about the public health and not just your personal health. That's just my opinion. So if you feel like, especially if you got symptoms and you ain't been tested and you know you've been this place, that place, the other place you may be asymptomatic, you don't need to be taking your heels back into nobody's church or nowhere else. This is what I'm saying now. You be the judge. You make a decision whether or not you want to go back to church or not. And if you go, you need to take some precautions. That's what I darn think. This is my own platform. I can say whatever I want to say. You know I can. But you just need to be careful, darn. You need to be careful and think about somebody else besides yourself. Oh, it's a plot to control everybody. Oh, it's a plot. You know, you just follow the leader. You're so dumb. You got to get the economy back going. Okay, that's fine if you feel that way, but have just a little bit more care about somebody else. Just have a little bit more care about somebody else. Just a little bit more of care about somebody else who you could infect because your droplets, thank you, Jesus, it's going out there like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling y'all what to do, but I'm sending some caution. I'm telling you what the President Benjamin Entertainer of the Divided States of America, Donald Trump, what he has said. And just because he said it don't mean it's good for you. It don't mean it's good for the area that you are in. You may be in a hot spot. Some of y'all ain't nothing but just I'm fussing now, oh well. Some of y'all ain't nothing but just addicted to doing what in the whole hell and the heaven you want to do. And you hated this whole time because you had to sit somewhere, can't go fornicate, had to sit somewhere, your house so small so you can't be in the next room, pointing baiting and touching all over yourself. You know, your children right around. When you used to leaving the house, leaving the children, somebody else to the nanny. Now you got to be there with your spouse, with the person you say you love, you don't really like them. And you can't go cheat with your side chick and your side hoe. And you had to stay at the house, so you really wrecked to go any darn way. And you ain't good at nothing else but preaching, so you're ready to go back to the pulpit. That's your only job. Because your members ain't been paying no money. I know. Now I'm going to say this, what I was going to say earlier. I got to go my food hidden. And it's important that I eat. Because when I don't eat, I change. Now, those of you that are members of these churches, and you know these churches been struggling, and your pastor's salary is his only job, and maybe you have been able to keep a job, or some of you guys have actually prospered during this pandemic. I said pandemic. Pandemic. Give to the church. If you believe in tithing, tithe. If you believe in the teruma, give the teruma to your supervising priest, your personal prophet. Give to the church. Help these churches out. You can at least do that if you ain't going back, because the pastor really, the pastors are going through withdrawal, and I do understand it, but that's not going to change what I'm saying. I think you need to worry about whether or not it's the thing that you need to be doing for you and your family. But support the church. Give and support the church, because it is a business. It's not a business. It does business. Let me say that, because I don't like saying a church is a business. Although we know on paper, it is. But I don't want to have that concept in my mind or put it in your mind. Thank you, Georgian Carter. All right? And that's all that I have to say at this moment. Online giving, or mailing in. All right. Let me let y'all go. I'll talk to y'all later. Let me hit this in.